on our screens, and we'll see that some of the bans are already there. We talked about how much Liquid's offlane loves their summons. You've got the Beastmaster banned out. You've got that Visage too. You've got the Flex between the Nature's Prophet if it wants to go carry or mid. They don't want that potential, as well as the Storm Spirit, the Naga, Enigma, and Tinker here, which does leave Sand open to be Liquid's first pickup.
Yeah, and this is a hero that both of them play, as we saw in the graphic earlier. So it's either can 33 can play it, on the other side, they want to take it away from DM as well. So highly contested just because both these heroes, they don't share a huge hero pool, but this happens to be one of the S tier heroes that both of them like to play.
Oh, Monkey King right away, straight away, like trying to deal with or trying to limit the flexibility of the Sand King. And Monkey King for me is probably the mid laner right now of the patch. Very, very useful in the early stages after you win your lane, and you see a lot of emphasis during the 6 minute to the 8 minute. You guys were mentioning about the Wisdom Runes, how Fishman really likes to contest in the Wisdom Runes. And Monkey King is like kind of like the perfect mid hero to always be there, to connect, jumping around the trees and making sure he gets there on time to fight for the rune.
I'm interested that Liquid did not second phase ban the Bane, just considering that they did get the first pick Monkey, because like you said, they really like to move Monkey around the map. Fishman, we talked about it for a long time that he is the Bane specialist, but I guess they feel like that sort of play style is achievable from also some other heroes that are still in the pool, like Fishman on Enchantress or Chen. Chen's not picked up so much, but Enchantress Clockwork, yeah, you can kind of run in there, Suicide for Wisdom Runes. Maybe you go down, but your Monkey King's going to show up and get some kills and get him into the game.
Cloud9 thinking hard about this ban, and I wonder, are you willing to ban out a carry, just show 2 cores for yourself here on the side of Cloud9, or is there a support that we're overlooking that Liquid could really thrive on that helps that Sand King in the off lane a little bit if it were to end up there?
We see a lot of Shadow Demon against Monkey King, and it could also stack for the Sand King too. So that could be pretty good for Liquid if they want to go that route. Not sure if Insania wants to go it, but something they could think about, and Rana has been great as well.
I could see Liquid picking Willow with Sand King. Boxy has been enjoying this hero in general. Blink Dagger with the Facet, jumping in, doing a ton of damage. But we've talked about the weakness of Sand King as an offlaner, and it's the first 3 levels. And Willow and Hoodwink, these are the 2 strongest heroes. Maybe Snapfire at giving a very good first 3 levels of the laning phase. And Willow is just Boxy's current favorite hero.
Yep, take away the Shadow Demon. You guys already mentioned that it's really good with stacking. It's very good against the Monkey King in the game with the Purge. You have some save later in the team fight. SD is just overall a very, very strong hero right now. It's very hard to pass up this hero in the current state of the meta. The hero just does too much, especially the lane. It's very difficult to trade into the Shadow Demon. The Shadow Demon he does the Hoodwink Snapfire role. He can really help the Sand King in the first couple of levels if they decide to put that together.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they're kind of block picking Fishman here too. Hasn't picked up his hero. Bane would have been great versus the Mirana. With the Mirana, sorry. Same, Clock would have been great with the Mirana too. 2 heroes he likes playing, but you take away his Clockwork. Now you have Shadow Demon. Now there's no way he really wants to play Bane, but he feels like he has to, right? So this is really good.
This is such a Fishman classic. I think the first time we saw C9 pull this out in the tournament, it was in the same scenario against SD, against a bunch of counters. He doesn't care because it's not really a team fight thing for him, it's a map thing. And the reason that Bane is countered by SD is because you grip somebody, SD imprisons them, they're saved. Yep. Bane can't get a BKB or something to deal with that. You can't even get an Ags. You imprison the target that gets gripped and save them. Clockwork, same thing. You can hook the Bane in the back and get him while he's gripping. So this is a very nice drafting from Liquid. It's kind of 5-head.
Yeah, I mean, they knew it was coming, right? It was like, we know you want your Bane or Clockwork. We'll take the Clock, we'll take the SD. Now it's just not a good Bane game, and you're going to play it anyway. And he still knows how to play around these counters for sure. He's very good at this Bane. But we'll see how that works out. Now you need to decide what you want to do if you are on Liquid right now. If you want to hold the Sand King, you pick a carry here, which makes a lot of sense. You do see your lane. It is going to be a Mirana or a Bane in the off lane. Most likely, it's going to be that Mirana. Did you know Academy and Fishman, their most played hero in pubs is both Bane?
Not shocking.
I mean, they both love Bane, but Fishman loves it more, so most likely it's going to go to him.
I mean, how often do you have support duos playing the same heroes? I mean, you see cores sharing similar hero pools, but it's rare that support duos have a very, very similar hero pool.
Yeah, usually because you want the supports to do very different things in a game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, fights get really hard, and so you pick players for your team that play these different roles. Like you get a guy who likes to play melee heroes and a guy that likes to play ranged heroes.
I mean, on top of that, going back to our discussion where Bane is not really good against the opposing heroes, but what Cloud9 does really well here is they are drafting very good heroes with the Bane. So with the Underlord and the Monkey King, I feel like those two cores really allow the Bane to roam the map with a lot of pressure. I think this is something that you don't really see other teams do a lot. Usually you have a draft, you try to prioritize making the core scheme better. But in C9, I feel like they put a lot of emphasis on making their support game in the early stages easy to execute, and with picks like this, the combinations, it does show me that they value that a lot.
It puts a lot of pressure on Fishman though, as a player, that he's the one that's setting all of this up. Like he's going to be walking in, nightmaring, setting up for the Underlord portal, setting up for the Monkey King to make his rotation, setting up for the arrow. So you need to have somebody who's extremely confident on their hero in order to have this much pressure on a 5 position when you have a 4 position that's taking ancient stacks. You know, like Fishman he plays position 6, not position 5.
Typically, yeah. But Mirana unfortunately can't do ancient stacks, so someone else will have to do those. But I think this Wind Ranger pick was a little interesting. I was wondering what type of Gleipnir hero Mickey would play, or Luna, because that's just his hero pool in general.
Yeah.
But Wind Ranger versus Underlord, it's an interesting one. It's strong in the lane, for sure, but you're a natural Crimson buyer. You have the Atrophy era as well, which might limit Wind Ranger's Whirlwind damage in these team fights as well. So this matchup potentially in the past may have been pretty Wind Ranger favored, but I don't know if this one is particularly going to just counter the Underlord. And I talked about it a lot before in the past, that I think Bane is incredibly good versus Wind Ranger if you can catch her out. So yeah. Wind Ranger is really just relying a lot on the support cast to either cancel these grips and save them.
I do know that, I mean, Monkey King, when the Monkey King Wind Ranger matchup, it used to be considered very Wind Ranger favored because you could Wind Run and then focus fire the Monkey King. But how does
technically still can.
How does that go now with Whirlwind? Is it really that bad for Monkey? Because I feel like he does get a good amount of armor in the ring that maybe it's not so bad.
I mean, you're still taking a lot of like magic damage from the Glaive, yeah.
Sure, okay. But not as necessarily bad. I mean, this leads me to think like Blitz drafts like this, where sometimes a pick looks a little weird, but they're aiming for a specific timing window. Maybe that timing is like a 2-minute window, maybe it's a 10-minute window, but sometimes he'll pick for that 2-minute window. It looks a bit weird, but then they execute well enough that they can win the game at that point. And that's kind of what this looks like to me with the Wind Ranger. They really value Mickey being able to go through the portal and being active with his heroes super early. If it does go late, I do agree with the Crimson point, and then the Underlord also reducing the damage. Like Windrunner will not look like she does in other games here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Liquid really cares about core-to-core matchups very much. They'd rather play their style of Dota, where they know exactly what to do at every moment in the game. Otherwise, you pick like your Ursas and Slugs, right, against the Underlord.
To counter it, yeah.
To counter it, but like, they want to hit their timings, they want to play Liquid Dota, they want to play fast, and to be able to play fast, you have to pick fast heroes. More importantly, you have to know what to do at what minute of the time on the map. So I think they have a very Liquid-esque lineup, which is very promising, but I also feel like C9 does as well. I'm very curious to see where they're going to put this Monkey King. Do you want to flex it? I have not been a huge fan of the carry Monkey King, but I think in this scenario, you might want to consider it and throw this Monkey King against the Sand King. It's a good matchup.
Yeah, well,
pick something else mid.
Now even more so with the Sniper being picked up. That is not a good matchup for the Monkey King. Of course, going late, Monkey King is decent against Sniper. You get the Aghanim Shard and you can jump right on top of him, but this is a laning stage counter. They're trying to make Monkey's lane mid very miserable.
But what lane's for Sniper nowadays? This has always been like the age-old question. Does anything? Because like I know no one can just take it mid.
Does Queen lane well?
I don't know.
Because you can kill him maybe? I don't know.
And if you go the Shadow Strike route, I've seen that before, but no one actually goes the Shadow Strike route as much.
He plays Storm, but that's banned, so a lot of the mids are actually banned. That could be good here. And I know a lot of these MK players, they don't mind just going mid and having a bad lane and just making the rotations as well, so it's really up to them if they feel like there's a better carry pick that could potentially be in the pool as well.
Luna is definitely still there. I
mean, it could still be a Watson Mirana, and then
it's possible.
We get another 4 position if there's a good one for Katomi.
That one seems a little rough, I think. I feel like there has to be a better core for either the safe lane or the mid. And it will be an old school in the Zeus. This is one like I don't really want to win mid, but I don't want to lose mid either. So they're going to trade farm there, and typically when you go for the Aghanim Scepter with the Zeus, you will have a way to just jump on top of heroes like Sniper, maybe even Wind Ranger, potentially the supports. But Zeus is not meta right now. This is not a hero we see a lot, and not particularly very strong, but it could be good in this game.
And they have a very, very apparent team. They have Global, Zeus, Underlord, Monkey King running around. Maybe you don't do so well in the early game, but I think they have a lot of tools to kill a sniper, to find the sniper. You know, I think sniper is going to be food throughout the game if he does not get ahead by a huge margin.
What's the build and the window though for the side of Cloud9, Jenkins? Because you said that Liquid, they like to build or at least draft around that small timing for themselves, no matter how small or big it is. But what about Cloud9? Where does that Zeus come online, and where does he really enable the rest of what's happening in that draft?
I will say the sniper does throw a wrench in the idea that C9 has some like impervious late game versus Liquid. I'm not entirely sure the strength of current Zeus in the late game because it's not been meta. The last time it was meta, it was the Manta style build.
Yeah, it was pretty much broken where you could build right click and magic damage on him.
But I do believe in they just buffed his Lightning Bolt and that scales with the Aghanim Scepter, and I think people are going to go for a magical damage build. I believe in the Zeus late game. I think it'll do fine in lane against Sniper. I think both sides have timings.
Well, look, we're going to get some more information around that Zeus, around that Cloud9 draft. Tsunami, it does have a Steenie with him right now.
Thank you very much, and that as I am standing by with Cloud9's coach Astini, and I'm getting a sense of deja vu, because I feel like it was not just 1 year ago, you and I were standing on stage in Seattle, and I was watching you coach a dark horse team of Nouns. You guys made it to top 8, and here you are doing it again, but I want to know what lessons you learned from that Nouns run that you're going to apply here in Copenhagen.
I learned to dodge GG the most I can. So now we have Liquid, and I'm pretty sure we can beat them.
Well, that means I got bad news for you, because if you win this, then there's a very real chance you might face them later on.
But then we'll be ready.
Okay. So that means you're feeling this pick then? You're feeling this draft?
Yes, ready to win game 1.
Hell yeah, man. Copenhagen, are you feeling it? Then let's get into game number 1.
I know I'm feeling it. Back in 2017, Mickey, Insania, and Boxy were once the newbies in the European scene playing against veterans. 7 years and 4 international attendances later, this trio of Liquid are the veterans, and they face a more junior team in Cloud9. But this is a team that is unique. They're hungry, and they're coming for Liquid, I think.
This is also another storied org in the history of Dota 2, right? Returning to the main stage here in Copenhagen and bringing some familiar names that the fans are very familiar with. To me, this has been a storied return for no one in this event. He is the player I'm looking at the most, maybe in this entire game, to decide the fate of this series, because he has been absolutely dominating, absolutely popping off, but he is going up against a staunch foe in Nisha. Not an easy player to lane against, not an easy player to play against. Maybe one of the most historically successful mid players of all time. So this is going to be a tough task for him to find the same sort of game impact we've seen him have over the course of this event. And not only that, I mean, Austin, did they handicap him? They put him on Zeus.
I know, what is this? No one Zeus coming back. I feel like I'm watching Dota from 2016, but it's a Zeus versus Sniper. Cloud9, I love the fact that you pointed out no one's performance so far at this event, because this is a squad, Cloud9 squad, that multiple players have been to TI before. Entity has been there multiple years, in fact, but to be able to make top 8 and perhaps much further than that, it may come off the back of no one's performance here today. See if he can roll back the years. Watch that lane matchup. Already, Nisha 6-0, but a little bit of action bottom and top lane as we are looking for kills on either side. And Kataomi, who's going to be the one dropped by Insania for first blood.
Very difficult lane to play the level 1 against. Battery plus power shot, basically the strongest level 1 nuke coming out of any carry. Just catches you off guard, and the blood grenade trade not favorable here. To me, Cloud9, they want to kind of mitigate the damage on the side lanes early here till they get the Zeus ult online, and then you can start to ramp up the pressure. You did take this Divine Rampage facet on no one as well, so if you can get a fast Zeus ult here and then up the action on these two side lanes, maybe get some setups with the Bane or with an arrow, you're looking at some early kills here. Of course, Liquid, they're just going to race to the auras. This is the type of style they've been playing the whole event. Get the auras up on 33 and combat the 5-on-5. It's going to be a really strong fight as this game progresses.
Boxy, a little bit out maneuver there, goes for the disruption on Fishman to make sure he can secure the D-warded sentry, make sure that Easy Camp stays blocked, and take a courier on the way out too.
That had entire boots on it. That is a huge loss for Watson in this lane stage. I mean, you rush boots on the Monkey King so you can pressure these offlane melee heroes. Just going to be missing it for 2 minutes almost now. Brutal loss for this lane. A lot of gold out the window. Liquid can maybe try and take advantage of this a bit or just secure an even better laning stage for 33. He is absolutely cruising through the CS right now.
Talking about some unique pickups, I feel like for the most part, Liquid have drafted what we expect out of them. I feel like they almost didn't change their draft too much according to what Cloud9 was picking up. Cloud9, though, did pick up some unique heroes, though typical for them. Once again, we're going to see their Bane in action, a support that not many other teams are willing to take a chance on. And then, of course, this last pick, Zeus, also a bit of swerve there in the draft. Cloud9 certainly cooking up something different. Do you feel like this actually addresses what Liquid have been doing all tournament long?
If you don't get sucked into the early fights and the straight 5-on-5s, yes, I think you can play the map, you can split them up, you can find the pickoffs in the setup. But that is going to be a tall order here because, as we've seen, Liquid is a very fast team. They're one of the fastest teams at the event, maybe the fastest. They will absolutely roll you over if you give them a laning lead. And they will dominate the team fights into early Roshans if you can't contest them. So that's the one concern here, is if your Underlord can't match what this Sand King outputs, if no one just is outputting the most damage in the game, but it's all just getting absorbed by sustain or early auras, you're going to find yourself in trouble very fast this game if Liquid can pump up their 2 ranged carries and give one of them Aegis.
Got him inside the cogs, but Insania, of course, kind of countered by the Mirana existence. You can get that kill once, but once he gets to level 2, Leap becomes available. And Insania is going to have a much harder time getting kills in this lane against this duo. But part of the speed that Liquid has brought to this tournament has been using the gate, right? I feel like all of these upper bracket teams have been making sure to take advantage of the gate rotations as much as possible. And that's one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on. Not just the support in Insania's clockwork, but also Mickey going through, as that has kind of been his signature move for, well, pretty much ever since the gates became a thing.
Maybe that's part of the reason they went back for this Monkey King first pick. I mean, we've seen them dominate with it mid, but this is also a carry you can rotate through the gate yourself or can be good against those early gate rotations, but you absolutely have to be prepared for them here if you are C9. We're going to see more early trade in Fishman out pretty far. Still Pearl Strike.
Yeah, hits him with that, disrupts the Monkey King, finishes off the Fishman Bane with ease. And Watson, well, he may have gotten the 4 stacks. He's only going to be able to undo so much of this damage. Never mind, Boundless Strike will get him back up to full while his support is gone. Liquid not going to try and put the pressure on the carry so much, just pulling another wave and getting as much farm as possible.
Now Watson sitting on 10 stick charges, very difficult dive.
Sania trying hard to catch DM here, but it's an Underlord. He is super tanky, and the Wind Ranger is only going to be able to provide so much here. 33 pulling the wave all the way back to the hard camp for the extra farm. Yes, back in the triangle, that's a cool move.
Maximizing the efficiency. They pulled the previous wave before this as well, just disjoining the lane against the Monkey King, not giving Watson really any availability in terms of Jingu. He's just going to take the gate. He doesn't even want to be in this empty lane, so C9 are going to be the ones bringing the numbers first. They're going to break 4 heroes top. See what Mickey can do to get out of here. Does land a shackle.
They managed to get their first kill of the game. Can they get a second? Mickey. His win run is now out. Watson trying to get in front of him. Fishman slows him down with a blood grenade. Mickey trying to shoot him down, but no, Watson hops out real quickly, and there it is. No one with the rotation through the entire jungle to pick up the kill on Mickey.
You were talking about Liquid playing fast to the gate. This is 5 heroes top at the 6-minute mark for this Liquid carry. Mickey may be wondering where the pressure is right now that this move can even happen. And of course, no one happy to pick up the last hit. He needs as many of these Thunder God Wrath kills as he can get in the first 20 minutes here.
Now the trade-off there was they did get the power rune. A regen rune, not the greatest for the sniper, but at least it keeps it out of the hands of the Zeus, who would be quite the terror with that pickup. Nisha, top CS, though net worth I'm sure is quite even with no one being able to pick up a kill like that. Looks like Liquid are ahead in CS across the board. The biggest one suffering here is the Underlord, but Mirana's picking up some CS there as well, so the 2 net worths combined does kind of even things out.
Do have to think about 7-minute Wisdom Runes here. We have seen how much Cloud9 like to contest these. Fishman already angling for it.
You know Fishman is willing to go for the Wisdom Rune no matter what. Even if it's a death sentence, he will usually try and pick it up. Though against Liquid, it seems like he doesn't have the positioning. Instead, he gets a little ward out there. keep some eyes on the triangle and block out some camps.
Yeah, this is another factor in this game you have to think about. The stacks that are going to end up in both triangle here. You have Shadow Demon on one side, Moran on the other. 2 4s that can easily pump up these stacks. Just the offlaner is going to clear through them incredibly fast, and then you can pump the aura timing up as well.
Yeah.
Not seen a large amount early because I think it's been mostly skirmishing, but this is absolutely a big objective that could be developed later on. And if you can open up these tier 1s early, I think you're going to be happy as either team.
Arrow sleep combination comes out once again for an easy kill for Cloud9, and the TP rotations are just not going to be fast enough, so they cancel them. Leave Mickey alone out on an island. Never mind. 33 coming in from behind with an epicenter. No damage behind it, really just himself, and it's not enough. Insania is going to try and get here and help him out. Fishman does have a nightmare coming up in a second. He throws that out onto the Sand King, see if he can get out of this damage over time for the Sandstorm. Watson chasing, positioning here with the Murata hitting the arrow. They could go for Insania. Boundless Strike hitting on the 2. Watson pops out and claims 1.
Big old damage coming through as well. You don't have this epicenter to fight anymore. 33, he is in trouble.
Yeah, behind him, no one cuts in again. Straight from the mid lane, he keeps on rotating up to top. Try and catch up to him. A blood grenade that misses, and the Mirana is going to be a little bit too short there to catch up.
Very awkward rotation from Liquid to try and counteract that. They committed triple TB to bail out Mickey, cancel 2 of them, and 33 is just left up here alone.
I mean, if there's any person you're going to epicenter and get a kill, I think you could have killed almost anybody there except for the Underlord.
Yes, and very heads-up TP from DM. Will not give up that big death in the laning phase. He is low on this board, but he just needs levels, needs the gate, and can join those fights. Doesn't need to have the craziest start here. And the big question for me is, at what point do you try and get the sniper involved? I mean, we're watching Nisha just farm mid. This is an early game dominator of a hero. Like, Sniper can use these shrapnels. You have 4 points in it. You would love to join these fights, get active, contest enemy stacks. This is where you don't have the best gap close on the side of Cloud9. Like, you're really only going to have Monkey King in this game. Ideally, you fight around the Sniper as much as you can in the early game if you're Liquid.
Yeah. I mean, a combination of lack of gap close and then also just a lot of frontliners, right? Clockwork, Sand King, they're going to make your life really annoying for trying to get to this sniper. Well, the question is just when he gets involved, wow, does Nisha want to play it? Because I feel like if we were watching Extreme Gaming, XM would have already made some rotations, you know?
Factor 000 is, I mean, it's great because you're really farmed here, but you're going to have to translate it into some map control at some point. Maybe you can play a slower style again. You can get up the stacks. You can just match the farm pace. You did have a little lead out of the lane. You got a little out-rotated into your safe lane. Still held the tower here on top for Liquid, which they're very happy about. But both teams are now starting to get those huge stacks up. And there are a lot sitting on the triangle for Liquid to fall back on, though the Sentry did block one of their camps.
Yeah, that hard camp has been blocked for a couple minutes now. But Cloud9, they haven't had the same kind of invading force, though Insania is going to defend his own area here. Going to make sure the rotations don't get unmatched. Fishman shot down from the mid lane by Nisha.
Straight on the board with the sniper, and these are the type of river skirmishes Nisha is just going to be very happy taking.
And looking for even more. No one. Oh, he pops the illusion, but they're still going to be able to catch him. Demonic Purge, and a shot to the back of the head will take him out as well. Nisha being enabled now, but perhaps the supports will pay the price. DM gates on in, but has no real backup with the arrow missing. And now he is the one in trouble. He's going to have to back away as Boxy and Nisha see their opportunity to aggress.
A lot of long-range poke from this Liquid lineup.
And now for an egress for Mickey. Caught again in the top lane. Can't get out in time.
What a heads-up sleep from Fishman. Just level 4 Bane with a level 2 sleep catching a Wind Ranger on the lane. That is not an easy task, and he makes it look easy. A lot of experience that he needs in this game. Still only level 5 on this Bane at the 11-minute mark. As Liquid will go back to claim some of their stacks, they got Nisha involved. That's pretty much what they were looking for. Now this sniper is just ripping through this net worth chart.
Yeah, and the Sand King is right behind him. He is catching up. He has abandoned this bottom lane since he first made that epicenter rotation up to top. He has just gone from that to pure jungling. Everyone's gone from the bottom lane.
Empty lanes on the map right now for Cloud9, and they can't really exert the same pressure they want to right now because this Underlord's just not strong enough to force the straight-up fight. It's going to come down to Watson and No One getting in good positioning, finding the openings, and your tier 1 just went down for free.
Yeah, managed to get the last hit before No One could come in for the deny.
Is this starting to feel like Liquid are taking over the game in terms of the pace and the controlling where the fights are going to happen? I'm still worried about if you get a really fast pipe here eventually on this Sand King, you just mitigate so much of the Zeus's impact.
Yeah. Definitely feels like Cloud9, while they may have gotten some kills in these rotations up at top earlier, it's beginning to play against them. Disruption comes out to help save Insania from some of this damage because they had a guaranteed kill on Fishman, so no trade-off here. Just Liquid taking another kill as Insania keeps on matching the attempted plays from Fishman and other heroes of Cloud9 as they try and invade, and those invasions don't work. They don't get the map control to offset what has happened in mid.
Liquid are out farming them right now, and it's very hard to aggress into this lineup when they have so much long-range poke. Fishman's going to TP bottom straight back into a smoke.
Oh no, it's going to be back-to-back deaths for Fishman. And amp damage for a sniper will make short work of him. A killing spree for Nisha. A high ground that is dewarded, a kill that is made, and now a push to be had.
I mean, Nisha is just farming the Bane at this point. Get this man away from him. Cloud9 just feels uncertain in terms of what they want to do right now. You have your Maelstrom on the Monkey, you have your Phylactery on the Zeus. This is where you would want to take the skirmishes. You can't push the tower straight up. You're getting outranged in terms of spell power. Awkward situation. Ideally, you kind of want to smoke and get some sort of gank going with your Bane setup or Arrow. You could just trade farm and hope you out-carry Liquid here with Solar Flare backing up your carries, but that seems a little risky given the position you're in the game right now.
Yeah, and given the fact that you don't have any other heroes to really take advantage of that bonus damage and attack speed outside of the Monkey King.
Well,
right? I mean, Underlord, is he going to do it for you?
I mean, Kataomi might just transition into a carry at this point.
That's true.
We've seen him do it before. Need the Gleipnir done on this Watson here to really start to take aggressive fights of your own. And I think Liquid are going to be content farming this map up. I say that, they already finished the Bloodstone on the Sand King, so 33 is just, he is absolutely huge right now.
Yeah, if he gets in the middle of any fight, that Bloodstone is going to do a lot of work to keep him up. And they have this vision. Oh, the hook shot just a little bit shy. A big pickup could have been had, but Cloud9, they need to do something about this stack being stolen. They're bringing numbers in. They're smoked up.
Cannot give Liquid this much of an economy.
There goes the Thunder God's Wrath for the vision. Fishman's going to be the first one down, dead in an instant. And Watson has to hop out. No one. 33 doesn't bother with that one too much. Already used the Burrow Strike. DM is in the middle. He just gated in the middle of all of the Liquid heroes. Surrounded.
There's just no openings. Like, who goes in and takes the brunt of the first set of spells? It's been the Bane every time, but there's no big committals here from Liquid. It's not like they're using massive ults to take down a support and okay, we can take the fight 4v5. You just get decimated instantly and then you're in a 5v4 position without clear initiators.
And the one person who was struggling due to all these rotations, 33 was getting free farm. Nisha was getting free farm. Mickey was the one getting shut down, but now he's joining in on fights that are going Liquid's way, and he has now gotten ahead of Watson in net worth. Bad sign for Cloud9. Let's see if they can turn around. 6,000 net worth lead for Team Liquid at 15 minutes. And they seem to be content with farming for now. No longer trying to make those invasions happen anymore. Not defending their off-lane tower. Instead, playing the other side of the map.
Have to find a way to split Liquid up right now. Their 5-man is way too strong with how much farm 33 found early and how tanky this Sand King is.
Yeah.
Even if you throw all your spells into 33, I don't think you're winning that fight, even if you bring him down. And again, you do want to split this map up with the Bane and the Zeus giving you some global potential. If you can find isolated targets, that's where this lineup can thrive. Liquid just not giving you any openings.
No, they've been playing super defensive. I mean, look at this. You're saying Sand King, it's hard to touch him. Well, the other two cores are being protected constantly. Insania is sitting on Mickey, just making sure that he's around in case there's some sort of play from Cloud9, some sort of smoke move. And Boxy shadowing Nisha the entire way, just waiting for an opportunity. They go on Nisha, he's ready with the disruption, and maybe Liquid can rotate. Cloud9, though, they're not looking for any aggression right now. They are just split up, farming different parts of the map, which might let them be able to catch back up in net worth, though the stacks make that a bit harder, as Mickey's clearing through those Ancients without any contest from Cloud9.
They're just not controlling enough of the map. Liquid are continuing to build significant net worth lead, and they are racing towards this Sand King pipe. And I think the second you have that, you just start to force the Roshan, force the towers. You're not afraid of the straight up 5-on-5 anymore, and no one is going to feel well, impotent at that point. Like,
Yeah.
you're going for an Ags here, you're trying to get Nimbus online, but
It's more global single target pickoff,
Yeah.
right? But
You're
what
not
happens if Liquid just 5-man at you?
it's not going to feel great. You will be able to get some vision on this sniper and maybe help find him on the back line, set something up for the Monkey King, get some burst damage out before the saves come through.
Yeah, that would be most ideal situation for Cloud9. Whether or not Watson is able to get on top of Nisha's sniper.
33 is just vacuuming the map, though. Like, he has had the entire upper half of the map during this period. This Sand King is exploding in network. He has 230 CS. Just clearing through so many camps. And there's no smoke gank going into him right now. There's no threat even looming if he's worried about it. His pipe's just going to be done for free here.
Yeah.
Level 15.
Power up both this facet, which is great for farming, but also Stinger. He's getting those high levels because he's playing solo, so he's getting solo experience the entire way. And Cloud9, just that bit of pushback that happened in the first 10 minutes, you know, all their aggression was kind of put to a halt by Liquid being in the right place at the right times, and they've just given up on that for now. Play to farm, but they are losing that battle right now.
18-minute pipe after a Bloodstone here. This is brutal for no one. You just can't itemize through this as a Zeus.
Fishman. It would be good for him to be able to break this smoke. Otherwise, somebody else is going to be the victim of it. And it looks like it could be DM, though. If he goes through the gate here, maybe he stays ahead of them. Nope, spotted by the flare. He's going to be glide here. Maybe he knew this was coming, trying to make a run for it, but he has nowhere to run to and no place to hide against the Clockwork. Take him out. And Liquid, what are they going to do with this position?
Can't really Roche. I think it's too slow here, not efficient enough. You're still just clearing through the map. You still have tier 1s you can fight around, and it'll be a smoke from Cloud9 trying to open up something here. You have the Gleipnir on Watson for some extra setup.
And Insania, he is blocking this one, but Watson still gonna leap over him, try and get to, no, he gets sucked in by the cause. He's not gonna be able to go for that kill onto Mickey. They wanted that core, they won't have him though. Arrow goes down, maybe they still will. Kataomi goes in for the kill and he gets it. He's shot down, but they do manage to get at least this Fiend's grip. Oh, Watson, he's closing the distance on Nisha. A Thunderbolt from the heavens will bring him down. Nisha falls, now a pit onto Boxy. See if they can catch up to him with DM cutting in from behind, and no one. Artillery, magic fire from the back lines is decimating Liquid. It's all up to 33 with this Bloodstone to try and stay alive against the 3. He's going for the kill on Watson. He's doing tons of damage, but the Bloodstone can only take him so far. As Stinger, he's so close. The Sandstorm won't do it. Maybe he could go for no one instead. He's going for it. They can't win this. A 1 versus 3, and it's 33 who will win it.
The Rocket Flare was what got the Monkey King, I think, at the end. Yeah, Insania picks him up on the side with a very clutch flare as Watson survived on 20 HP. And I mean, we saw the power of Sand King right there. An insane find from Cloud9 to find the openings here, get a very clutch sleep on the sniper, which sets so much of that up on the second half of that fight. I mean, they will take that fight every time because you needed something like this in the game, but Liquid's still able to find a way to win this in the end. And I mean, if 33 is there at the start, that's completely different, right? They do not have an answer for this Sand King right now, and it shows. So 33 will add more coins to his pocket here as he becomes that much stronger. But we're seeing what this lineup can do. If you can start to get a numbers advantage at the start of the fight, no one just goes to work this entire time. And because the Sand King's not here, you don't have the pipe aura in any of these early kills to kind of shut that Zeus down.
And what an opportunity from Fishman, recognizing that even though it's going to kill him, he puts his body on the front lines to be able to get that Fiend's grip. It's all looking good for Cloud9 in this until they look at 33 and said, we can go one more. They took down 4 members of Liquid, but that 5th man, 33, was too much for them.
Through the Underlord pipe as well, which in theory should negate a lot of this Sand King's presence. Just 1v3 some straight up monster.
And that flare, boop. 50 damage is all it takes. Watson gets caught by that one. Mickey enjoying that turnaround that happened, but it was still ultimately Cloud9 getting a lot of net worth and experience out of that they were lacking. They were farther behind in net worth than this. 5K is nothing. They were down 10K before.
And this is a lot of extra gold for Kataomi, who I think is the X factor here for Cloud9. You can get this Piranha Ultra farm. And this is probably the one port player in the tournament you would like to get Ultra Farm on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Like, he knows how to play this carry role from the 4 position. This is a hero that can do it. It can pick up some of that damage slack. However, that fight was good enough for Liquid that they are able to go into Roshan, pick up an Aegis, pick up a Tormentor.
He tried. It was close. Boxy was low. If he got him with the Nimbus, it would have been death. But Boxy actually recognizing that threat, stopped moving and TP'd back to base instead.
So this will be your Aegis period for the Sniper. They gave it to Nisha here. Feel like he's the best hero to give the second life, maybe frontline some tier 2s if you're confident enough to just push straight up. And I mean, I guess the Sand King is invincible. That is going to be a huge kill, though, if Cloud9 somehow find a way to bring 33 down in this game. Our Blink is already done. He's just looking at a second aura in the Crimson. Would negate a lot of the Monkey King's damage in the fight, a lot of the Mirana damage.
Yeah.
Buff up his 2 carries. See if Liquid try and make a move deep into Cloud9 side of the map, or they're content farming during this Aegis period. I could see them make a smoke play into a tier 2 push. Definitely doable here. Little scary at this point to fight into the Monkey King Underlord when they have a defensive position.
Yeah.
You get stuck in the Wukong in the pit, you give a good grip to Fishman, who he's on the back line. Maybe that hook shot can't reach him. That's where the fight can become a bit spooky, but...
Especially when Nisha has no escape mechanisms, right? Like, it'll be a much different story if he can get his Hurricane Pike and get his Shard, but for now, he just has that extra life of the Aegis to work with, but no way to get out of the Wukong's command.
We saw how susceptible he was in that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, Fishman sacrificed himself to get the grip, but he basically died in the Wukong plus 2 Zeus spells, so he's still fairly squishy. You're also still looking for the BKB here on the Monkey King, which will allow Watson to just commit into the fight completely. Do have to worry about Demonic Purge, very annoying spell for him. Boxy can be a big problem for Cloud9 on the backline in terms of the saves. Constant Dispel, he is level 12 as well, and went for the Blink Dagger. So this Shadow Demon's going to have free positioning in the fight. I don't think you're finding him first. I mean, if you do, it's a godsend. You'll take it every time.
Yeah.
2 minutes left on this Aegis. If you're going to push a tower, it will be this bottom tier 2.
33 makes sure that the mid-wave doesn't get pushed down too much. Keeps that map control and then rejoins the rest of his team in a position to assault this tier 2. Cloud9 are not going to contest, it seems. Just try and take the time to get more farm, though Watson was spotted there on the side of the map. We'll see if Liquid tries to make a move off of that at all. 2 minutes left on the Aegis. Perhaps just a high ground push to try and get the Monkey King back under control and on the Radiant side. We'll see.
Slow push from Liquid. Have not really built a net worth lead during this time, but are probably happy with the map control and the vision they have out. These 2 dire obs that are scouting the left side of the map are pure value right now.
Yeah.
They just see everything.
Yeah, they're controlling the right side of the map with heroes, wards on the left side of the map. Liquid have every bit of information you could ask for. And they're going to use that information to try and take a second tier 2 off the map. Cloud9 are chill with it, I think, though. Thundergod's Wrath just spotted a bunch of heroes.
Scouting. Expensive cooldown here, 2 minutes. This is also no one's timing on the Zeus in terms of level 15. You up the ult damage. You just got your Kaya as well. So this is a decent power spike in terms of the Zeus outputting damage.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of HP to get through here, and you're not going to fight into the Aegis. 2 lives on the Sniper, bit too much. You are closing in on the Greaves here as well. Whereas for Liquid, you got your Hurricane Pike on the Wind Ranger, you got your Hurricane Pike on the Sniper. So both of these ranged cores have their gap recreation mechanism already online. You have to be able to find big lockdown on these 2 cores if you are Cloud9. And Liquid, I mean, you're just trying to protect it, right? Make sure you cancel the grip in the fight, make sure you get your heroes out of the cogs, out of the Wukong, and you're very happy with anything that happens after that. Crimson done for 33. He's almost level 20. He would love a 5v5 right now, I guarantee it.
Yeah, and Cloud9 are trying their best not to give it to him, nor get picked off in the process. Liquid, after taking bottom and mid, they sweep through the top part of the map to see if they can catch anybody. Cloud9 do manage to evade those attempts. But this side of the map is only going to be theirs for so long. And that's why they're going to try and make a move here. I think they know some of these heroes have tried to go through the gate after them, and they're going to back into them with this smoke. Liquid have already backed away, though, rejoining the rest of the 5 stack from Liquid.
I mean, if you look at Liquid's Fog of War, again, these deep wards, like, you know something's up, right? When you
Yeah.
do not see anybody this long, they know the smoke is on the map right now. The vision is just preventing this aggressive move from Cloud9, and I'm not sure they would have wanted to find it anyway. Liquid are clumped. They've had an amp damage rune on this sniper. You do have your BKB timing for the Monkey King, which is what they were hoping to use there. It's just so risky. If you run into Liquid head-on in a 5-on-5, you are probably not going to like what you find. Liquid, are you confident enough to push high ground here without an Aegis?
I mean, they do have an easy mode way to do it. Sniper sitting way in the back, poking at it. 33 gets in a few swipes there as well, but he doesn't have to stay up in that high ground. Amp damage is going to wear out in a few seconds, so Cloud9 are probably just waiting for that. Watson refusing to back away, though. He is still out of the map, still trying to find farm. He shows himself for a second. Liquid ping him.
You have to keep somebody out on the map. He's going to come back. I was just saying, if you come back with everybody, you have to take the fight. You cannot just sit in your base right now. They're going to try and get the flank. They want a grip on one of these ranged cores.
Wrapping around, getting behind them here. They might have their opportunity to start off with an Nimbus. Nisha's already at half health, and they're backing into an ambush. A Wukong's command that has surrounded two of the cores. On the other side, there's DM as well. McGang, he's able to get away with the wind run, and the Hurricane Pipe got Nisha out of the Wukongs as well. DM's not able to finish the job, and the monster, that is the Scorpion of 33, is chasing after heroes. He gets the Mirana, bodyguards the rest of Liquid so they can back away. A one-for-one trade-off, support for support, but it also, the Aegis is ticked out, so Liquid may not feel confident anymore to keep up the pressure.
Huge plays for these Liquid supports. That could have been a disaster of a team fight, but they're able to bail Mickey out of the middle of that Wukong. They cancel the grip. They kind of mess with the Underlord on the backside. Watson's unable to connect on the Windrun Wind Ranger. It was a very clutch disruption from Box. He absolutely bailed that fight out. Liquid were not ready for that angle. Like, Watson got in exactly where he wanted to be. Had a two-man boundless strike on two cores, the two ranged cores in this game. And Fishman with his patented Wisdom Rune steal will eventually find one.
Classic Fishman.
He gets there eventually.
So Cloud9, hold on, 9K net worth. Feel like we said that a few times. 14-10, 29 minutes in. Cloud9 and managed to stave off some of the early aggression from Liquid. Scaling up, though, do you feel confident that Cloud9 are going to be able to take the same fights against Liquid at 35, 45 minutes in?
For this Zeus, no, but for Solar Flared Monkey King,
it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, if Watson can get to 5 or 6 slots here, he has Underlord auras to back him up, and then you can just throw some other weird spells on top of him, or if Katayomi can, you know, make a presence for himself with Hurricane Spike plus something else.
Yeah.
I can kind of see the damage being there. A lot of it's dependent on how that setup goes, and Liquid definitely have tools to deal with it, like we saw there. The disruption, the hook shot, 33 just being on the front line. This Sand King level 25 talent is still a beast of a talent. You have to respect some of that, and of course, you know, 5 or 6 slots on Ranger plus Sniper here is going to be pretty terrifying, especially if one of them has an Aegis. You get to things like the Wind Ranger Ags. You are not automatically winning late game as either team here, but I think Liquid are very comfortable with their position right now. They're not in a rush in this game.
33 toying with Cloud9, epicentering right in front of their face, threatening it anyway, not completing it. Smoke up from Cloud9, and they're going to once again push through this bottom lane behind no one.
Smokes are so hard when you have limited room to work with. At least you have DM out on the map. He wants to gate in this play, though. Insania scouts him.
And if Insania catches him first, he was just behind the tree. Insania doesn't spot him in time. Close call. And thankfully, in part 2, a ward there helped DM get out.
Liquid still get what they want, though, which is another wasted smoke out of Cloud9 here, which is another smoke you're not going to have for this next Roshan contest, which is what you have to think about right now.
Watching that last team fight, I felt like Cloud9 did a lot of things right, and it still didn't quite go their way because the Shadow Demon Disruption was able to stop the Fiend's grip. What are you going to do about that as Cloud9? Because I feel like you really only have one gap closer to hit some sort of backline. That's the Monkey King. He wants to go for the Wind Ranger. He wants to go for the Sniper. Who's going to deal with the save?
I mean, you don't really have anybody who can deal with it. You don't have anybody who's building an Orchid getting on the back line. You don't have Global Silence or really much control for them. You just have to kill them faster Need more damage on Watson.
No one spotted, hit by the Burrow Strike. Watson is set up on the side here, but they had vision of him. Pin 2, hit him with the hook shot. Now Watson has to pop down, pop his BKB, got the Wukong's command, and should be able to deal with Insania, but the other heroes are out of the Wukong's command, and they're kiting him around. DM trying to come to the rescue here. See if he can help out Watson. The Epicenter is doing big damage with the BKB going down. Watson's got to rely on the life steal. Can he get a left life steal? He cannot. Not enough. Kataomi with the back, with buybacks coming out from Cloud9. They are going to outnumber Liquid, but can they win it? An 8 versus 5. They need as many heroes as they can give. They got the Fiend's Grip on the Sniper. They're doing out the damage. Their whirlwind is not quite enough. They may have finished off the bait. Finally, he goes down. Nisha delivering big damage. Finally, they get the fight that they were looking for on the side of Cloud9, and it still doesn't work. They threw hero after hero, and none of it was enough. 33 just pushed through again.
A 9 for 3.5, I guess, if you count Boxy's buyback here. And there is only one god in this game. It is the Sand King. It is 33, 4, 0, and 11. They're nowhere close to bringing him down. He just has way too much sustain with this Bloodstone going through, and the Aura's up in the fight. He's almost level 25 now. 9 lives for Cloud9, and they used them all up. They did not get the initial go that they wanted in this exchange, and Mickey just diced them up here. Nisha's just sitting at the top of your screen right here, just pew-pewing everybody as well. Nobody was on top of this nightmare, on this sniper, and he absolutely decimated Watson in the second half of this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mickey took a bit of damage, but Nisha had a free game until this moment with just sheer numbers. Cloud9 tried to rush them. Nisha stood his ground. Mickey stood his ground. They both fall, sure, but 33. He is inevitable. You can't stop this man.
And very clutch shackles from Mickey. Like that last shackle on the Monkey King when Watson comes in a second time, basically gets nothing done. You got a Boundless into shackle into 100-0. That is going to be Roshan for Liquid here. I don't think you can just run out and contest this again if you're Cloud9.
No.
You're running out of time, running out of lives in this game. And this Sand King is already going to be 25 for the next high ground push.
You can't kill the Sand King. Somebody else is going to have it Aegis. These cores are also just hard to kill as is. I mean, 2,700 HP on the Sniper, plus he's got the Silver Edge. So he can maybe get away from you, reposition the team fight to his liking. Mickey has his win run and an extra life. He's the one who's going to take it.
He also has 3,000 HP. Yeah, there's just no easy targets anymore.
Cloud9 going to have to put together perfection for this next one if they want to have a chance. Otherwise, we're going to be going to a game 2 with a 0-1 for Cloud9. Insania trying to get some early vision up. Cloud9 just hoping that Liquid gives them enough time to get more items in the tank, but Watson's way too far away to get the MKB in time, I think.
You're looking for MKBs on the Monkey and the Mirana, and Liquid, well, they might not let you get there. If I'm Liquid, I'm just pushing down lanes right now.
Yeah, it seems like maybe Liquid wants the BKB on Nisha before the high ground, but I'm not sure if it's necessary.
Definitely not necessary if you execute the fight well. Comes down to how confident 33 is in just walking up the high ground.
He looks confident.
Yeah, he did it before. He did take the Epicenter Pulse's talent for his 25. He's eyeing up a solo kill.
Almost caught him, but Katomi just a little bit faster there on the leap. Slowed down a bit, but he will get out.
I mean,
that's a little bit more time, but their base is under assault in the meantime. Meanwhile,
yeah, look at the deep ward. Insania just got out. Sees everything in the base.
And they know Fishman. Fishman who's trying to sneak around the back. He'll be caught in the act.
No maneuvering for you.
Now 4 versus 6.
Watson forced to come back before he finishes that MKB here. He's missing a lot of effective damage he needed for this fight.
The Glyph only delayed by seconds. They spot the ward, but the buildings, they're crumbling. Cloud9 are going to be rushed to put together this defense. And to do so, and get that perfection that they need to be able to win the fight, seems an impossible task. 15 seconds until they have all 5 back up again. But that's going to be Megas. They decide they can't put it together in time.
They need the Bane. They need every bit they can get here. They need a great angle on the backline as well.
Maybe they could still find it.
No one is completely behind this Liquid squad right now.
They managed to spot both the Monkey King as well as the Mirana. 2 damage dealers as well as no one in the middle of nowhere. He went for the shield rune, and it didn't make a damn difference. Kataomi's going to be up next. Watson, last man out here in the end, does have the Wukong command, and is hitting 33. Watson, you might be strong, but 33 is beyond strength. They have nothing to deal with him. A trip through the gate will not happen for Fishman. A trip out of this game is all that he has on his itinerary. That is Liquid taking game 1.
I mean, it was not completely one-sided, but it did feel like Liquid had a lot of the map advantage throughout that entire game. They took over that map early, and there was a 5-minute period there where I think 33, he did not see an enemy hero for that entire 5 minutes. He saw a lot of neutral camps, and he just vacuumed everything up. He became invincible. This Sand King did not post a single death this entire game. He was the bane of Cloud9's existence, as the Bane was, well, not anything to Liquid in this match.
No, he was not. He was just a little speed bump of the way to victory in game 1, but a full series best of 3 is still ahead of us.
That's right, it's in the upper brackets. Of course, Cloud9 wanted to give it the red hot go. They wanted to go the distance, but going 1 game down here isn't the end of the road by any means. It is a best of 3. Game number 2 will be coming up, but before that, game number 1 here, SVG was talking about how for he thinks roughly 5 minutes this Sand King didn't see a single enemy hero. Winter, I feel like it was longer than that. This Sand King was doing so much in the way of gaining net worth for himself and putting his team in a great position.
Yeah, he was basically like the second carry of the game, or even the main carry of the game.
I would say the main. I would definitely say the main.
He was just like being on the side of the map, just vacuuming every bit of a farm